It's another important step, and that opens up the room for further economic cooperation.
Nigeria-Germany diplomatic ties look brighter as President Buhari played host to German Chancellor Angela Merkel. INEC closes doors for continuous voter registration exercise this Friday. And countdown to Osun governorship race, police engages candidates on security. Good evening, this is NTA Network News, reaching you live from Abuja. I am Elizabeth Stober. Dr. Ogunyemi is in Lagos and Agatha Egware-Ojo joins us from Benin. Now, for the second time in 3 days, President Muhammadu Buhari has reiterated the commitment of his administration to conduct free and fair elections in 2019. The president, while welcoming German Chancellor Angela Merkel to the country, says government is determined to improve the economy of the nation. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports that 3 memoranda of understanding were signed on trade and investment.
President Muhammadu Buhari received the German delegation led by Chancellor Angela Merkel a few minutes after 10 Friday morning. The two leaders engaged in a meeting with discussion on various issues such as the 2019 election, security, and illegal migration, among others. The German business delegation was also engaged in a roundtable discussion on various areas with their Nigerian counterpart. A memorandum of understanding on commerce was signed at the end of the meeting. Earlier, at a brief ceremony on the sideline of the visit, memoranda of understanding signed include that on agriculture and automobile production.
Nigeria, we want to learn from the German experience because we think there are many parallels. First, we want our SMEs to be as important. The other area of German excellence is the technical area, technical education, technical training, and technical development. It's also an area of great interest to Nigeria.
Primarily to increase trade with Germany, and they came with a significant group of business people and are very keen to expand the level of trade between our two countries.
Though it's not yet where we think we are going to be, but things are changing. They are hearing now, things are getting better. And we hope with this type of visit, after interacting with German businessmen, we'll be encouraged more. Our target is to this country to be like Germany or supersede Germany in very shortest time.
Under the current administration and the present policy, the agricultural promotion policy of this government, there is ample opportunities for investors in terms of technology capital to come to Nigeria and to invest in the agricultural sector.
Nigeria is now changing from a, let's say, opportunistic market into a strategy market. Together with NISAL, I think we can boost the Nigerian agriculture sector huge.
Is the giant of Africa, we have the enormous market, we have the investment potential, and we are just trying to move from broad-based investment to targeted, aggressive investment. And the opportunities are there and the potential is here.
Why is it now that we're having so many countries coming in to do business with Nigeria?
Well, I think it's because we've provided the enabling environment to encourage investors to come in. I think one of the most important is security and stability. And even our fiercest critics will admit that in the area of security, this government has achieved a lot.
The president on Wednesday equally had a bilateral meeting with a British delegation led by Prime Minister Theresa May. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari says his administration would continue to do everything humanly possible to make the country a better place for all Nigerians. The president stated this in a joint press briefing with the visiting German Chancellor Angela Merkel. Here again is Jide Onifade.
Asked on his position on illegal migration of some Nigerians to Europe and other countries at a joint press briefing with the visiting German Chancellor, Angela Merkel, the president says the country is against illegal movement of such persons, but would be ready to assist anyone caught in such situation back to the country.
For those going to Europe, we are not, as an administration, agreeing for Nigerians to defy the desert, Sahara Desert, and the Mediterranean because they feel that there are greener pastures there, whether they are prepared for it or not. You must recall that about 6 weeks ago, we repatriated about 3,000 Nigerians that were stuck in Libya on their way to Europe. To us, this administration is very clear. We do not support anything illegal. And anybody who feels that his country does not value him, does not offer him what he should be offered as a citizen, and decided to defy the desert and the Mediterranean, he's doing it at his own risk. But if found stuck in Libya or anywhere between his final destination and Nigeria, we'll bring him back home and send him back to his local government.
Chancellor Angela Merkel commends the president for his efforts at improving the country's economy and on job creation for youth, as well as cooperating with the German government in resolving the issue of illegal migration.
It's another important step, and that opens up the room for further economic cooperation. Today already Nigeria is an important trading partner for Germany, our second most important partner in sub-Saharan Africa.
She employs young Africans to take up the challenge of nation building by joining hands with their respective leaders. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
And President Muhammadu Buhari left Abuja this Friday for Beijing, China, ahead of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the president, accompanied by his wife Aisha, was seen off at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport by his chief of staff, Abakari, the Deputy Inspector General of Police, Habila Joshak, Chinese embassy and other senior government officials. While in China, the president is scheduled to join his Chinese counterpart, Xi Jinping, and other African leaders at the 7th FOCAC Summit under the theme Towards an Even Stronger China-Africa Community with a Shared Future. President Buhari is also scheduled to hold bilateral discussions with the Chinese leadership on infrastructure financing strategic projects in Nigeria. The Nigerian community in China will also interact with the president during his stay in the Asian country. The governors of Bauchi, Lagos, Jigawa, and Imo states, several ministers, and some lawmakers are on the president's entourage. In Zamfara State, internally displaced persons from 10 communities have now settled at their various homes. Jamilu Ibrahim reports.
That is the market of one of the 10 communities whose residents were hitherto internally displaced persons at various camps following wanton killings, kidnapping, and cattle rustling in Zamfara State. Other communities who have also sighed a heap of relief include Wonaka, Ruambore, Mutu, Birhani, Ergeba, Gangara, Bisa, Masaba, Enwanke, and Gusous Afi in Zurmi local government areas of the state. A visit to these communities by NTA News revealed that normalcy has now returned to their communities as people are back to their various places of activities. Some of the residents of these communities who spoke with NTA News explained that they now sleep with their 2 eyes closed.
And success is being recorded, and so far we have achieved with regard to security issues.
The people that were IDPs now, they have turned back to their respective villages.
With this development, farmers in the areas are now fully engaged in their farming activities. Some of the farmers confirmed to NTA.
Chief of Air Staff Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar is confident that personnel of the force will improve on their fighting capabilities as the federal government now accords training a priority. He stated this at the graduation course 3 of the Nigerian Air Force War College. Makudi Achigili Magaji reports.
The course participants, who are within the ranks of wing commanders and group captains, have completed studies in air principles and concepts, land and maritime services, and air power research, among others. The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, says the establishment of an Air Force War College became necessary because the Nigerian Air Force needs to be innovative and dynamic to meet up with the ever-changing character of warfare. He expressed delight with the performance of those that have been graduating from the college and urged the graduates of Course 3 to bring what they learned to bear on their duties.
In a new, different, complex, and ever-changing global security environment, the Nigerian Air Force must evolve ways to strengthen the capacity of its officers to be effective in the discharge of their constitutional responsibilities.
The commandant of the War College, Air Vice Marshal John Baba, says the modules adopted for training in the college are among the best globally. Certificates were presented to the graduating personnel and consequently inducted as fellows of the college. The 6-month course is the third since the establishment of the college in 2015. In Makudi, Achigil Magaji, NTA News.
On the political scene now, members of the All Progressives Congress APC in Bauchi Central Senatorial Zone have rallied in support of President Muhammadu Buhari and Governor Muhammad Abubakar in Misau local government area of Bauchi State. Mahmoud Ibn Muhammad reports.
As the 2019 general election draws closer, politicians in Bauchi State are positioning themselves for electoral victory. Frontline members of the All Progressives Congress from Bauchi Central Senatorial Zone that consists of 6 local government areas organized a rally for President Muhammad Buhari's re-election bid.
Assuring Mr. President, we are assuring the APC that we are intact. Inshallah, who comes 2019 elections, they will see wonders more than what they have seen in the last 2015 elections.
To show the strength of APC in the district. And of course, to show our support for Muhammad Buhari and M.A. Abubakar.
Party stalwarts are confident of the chances of APC to return President Muhammad Buhari and Governor Muhammad Abubakar in 2019.
It's disappointing for a senator that has been elected on the platform of APC in Bauchi, precisely Bauchi Central, the home of APC, to defect to another political party.
They, however, observed that despite the defection of some of the state legislators in the National Assembly to the opposition, the APC will never be distracted from delivering on its campaign promises to Nigerians. In Bauchi, Mahmoud Ibn Muhammad, NTA News.
And Nigerian youths have been urged to show support and commitment towards the re-election of President Muhammadu Buhari in the 2019 general election. This was the position of stakeholders at the official inauguration of Youths for Buhari 2019 held in Abuja. Yusuf Umar has details.
Respect, power bestowed on me to inaugurate.
That was the official inauguration of the state, local government and ward coordinators of the Youth for Buhari 2019. The group, which is a political movement devoid of religion, cultural or ethnic affiliation, is mobilizing 5 million eligible Nigerian youths with PVCs to vote for President Muhammad Buhari in the 2019 general elections.
Today we have one Buhari, and you can see how the changes we are talking about. If these people become as Buharians, if they become Buhari in their own endeavor, Nigeria will change.
The group is of the view that a vote for President Muhammad Buhari in the 2019 general elections is a vote to secure the future of Nigeria and Nigerians.
Nigerian youths, this is a great opportunity for you. This is the only time we have to restore the dignity of this nation.
The Youth for Buhari 2019 membership is open to all Nigerian youths at home and in diaspora. In Abuja, Yusuf Umar, NTA News.
The Not Too Young to Run movement has distanced itself from Senate President Bukola Saraki's declaration to join the presidential race. The convener of the group, Samson Itodo, in a statement published by some Nigerian dailies, said it only invited Saraki and other chieftains of the People's Democratic Party to a town hall meeting as part of efforts to ensure that youths are given some concessions ahead of the 2019 general elections. The statement said the group was, however, shocked when Saraki seized the opportunity to declare his presidential bid, thereby compromising the event. You're watching NTA Network News. We'll now take a break to bring you some messages. We'll be back in just a moment. Stay with us.
Traffic is terrible. What is your map saying?
Don't worry. The map says it will soon clear.
Never! Hold! This bush woman. Madam, come on! See this whole matter you do, Baro! Shut up! Never! Shut up! Okay. Never! At the end, there's a T-junction. What? See? Then there's another road that follows again. Never! Papa, you finally came. Don't you know that with Glow Agassi, I will always be ahead?
With Glow Agassi, enjoy 125% more data to get ahead. Dial *777#. The largest data network. Glow, grandmasters of data.
How may I help you?
We are staff of the National Population Commission.
Please come in.
Thank you, sir.
Honey!
Yes, sir.
Please come with the kids.
Good day.
The government has sent people to collect information about us.
The National Population Commission and the Federal Ministry of Health will commence the 2018 Nigeria Demographic and Health Survey in selected communities of all the local government areas of the Federation. The survey will sample housing and households, all women and men aged 14 to 59, and also children aged 0 to 5. This survey will be carried out by the pricking of fingers for lab testing and questionnaires for malaria, anemia, HIV and AIDS, fistula, female genital cutting, domestic violence, pregnancy-related and child mortality, amongst others. The exercise will help the government to plan for better housing and improved healthcare facilities. This message is brought to you by the National Population Commission and the Ministry of Health with the support of the U.S.
Bayes University is a fully licensed university operating since 2011 and has grown to have 32 accredited programs in 6 faculties. This includes computer and applied sciences, management and social sciences, engineering, environmental sciences, law, and basic medical sciences. The university also offers postgraduate programs and foundation courses in a conducive learning environment with modern teaching facilities and high-quality national and international staff. Bayes University graduates have either progressed into respectable career positions or have obtained postgraduate degrees from different parts of the world with distinctions. Admissions for 2018-2019 academic session is ongoing. Call or visit www.bayesuniversity.edu.ng. Bayes University, Abuja. Learn to live.
The FCT administration hereby reiterates to the general public that all abandoned buildings subjected to revalidation and conduct of integrity test before recommencement of development, the buildings must be completed in line with the terms and conditions of the grant of certificate of occupancy and conveyance of building plans approval. All building projects abandoned for at least 3 years must not be occupied whatsoever by anybody. Failure to comply with the above instructions and all other extant rules governing lands development in the FCT by any developer will attract appropriate sanctions, which shall include revocation of title and prosecution. Signed, management.
The old one don't vamuso as the new one land dig bam. Better bop inside every chop we get Mr. Chef's seasoning cube. 10 Jara cubes dey inside the 100 cube packets and 5 Jara cube inside the 50 cube packets. Go buy your own now before the Jara then finish. Mr. Chef, the jolliment you not go forget.
Fake news which is shared for malicious purposes is a danger to our peace and security in Nigeria. Misinformation as fake news is a serious threat to our hard-earned democracy and promotes hatred and misunderstanding between our communities. We are all responsible for stopping the spread of fake news in its tracks So, always check the source and credibility of any news item. Say no to fake news. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
Do you know that the Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant to achieve our creed as we promise. We shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion, and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption, and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris.
Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility.
This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
Thank you for staying with us on NTA Network News. The Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, has appealed to governorship candidates in the September 22nd election in Osun State to shun violence and vote buying by adhering to the rules of the election. The IGP made this appeal during a sensitization seminar in Osogbo, where governorship candidates were in attendance. Femi Afariogu was there now reports.
The one-day seminar at the instance of the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, was to chart ways with stakeholders towards achieving free, fair, and credible gubernatorial election in Osun State. IGP Idris said the Osun election will serve as litmus test for the 2019 general elections. It disclosed that a Deputy Inspector General will coordinate the state, while police commissioners would be in charge of all the 5 area commands in Osun during the election. The police boss who defended the deployment of 30,000 police officers to Ekiti State election said the numbers of officers for the Osun gubernatorial election will be based on intelligence reports.
I can sense the peacefulness of this state, and I believe it's a sense of appreciation of the conduct of all of us this week. I want you to continue to ensure that the coming elections will be peaceful and reliable.
This is what the generation and the generation here upon wants to see all around us. Power is not by force. It is only God that grants power.
The seminar was themed Imperativeness of Police Collaboration with Essential Stakeholders Towards Secured, Free, Fair, and credible election in Osun State. In Osogbo, Femi Afariogun, NTA News.
Meanwhile, 8 police commissioners will be deployed to the 8 area commands in Osun State to supervise security ahead of the Osun State gubernatorial election, and not a commissioner of police to each local government, as it has been reported in some sections of the media. A statement by Force Public Relations Officer Juma Moshood indicates that the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, stated this during a one-day seminar on imperativeness of police collaboration with essential stakeholders towards secured, free, fair, and credible elections in Nigeria, held on the 30th of August 2018. The statement advises stakeholders and the public to discountenance the report. The statement further implores the media to amend their records, as the police will continue to hold the media in high esteem. And today is the last day of the continuous voter registration exercise following the 2 weeks extension by INEC. Here is an update from Benin, Edo.
On the 14th of August, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, announced a 2-week extension of the continuous voters registration from 17th to 31st August 2018. Since then, eligible voters have been beseeching designated centers to register and collect their PVCs. The last day of the exercise witnessed a large turnout. Some respondents narrated their experiences, which they described as unpalatable.
It's too much. I won't fight. And I'll be here since 6:30 in the morning. Now they are calling my number by 58. I've not even eaten for the day. I'm not really, happy with the way they are attending to us.
Even you can see people inside the rain trying to find their way in. It's so stressful. I just pray government to just extend the date.
Meanwhile, state government offices and some formal organizations were closed following the public holiday declared by the state government to enable workers to either register or collect their PVCs. In Benin, Udrakobong Achibong, NTA News.
Economic activities are at standstill in most parts of southern Borno State following the collapse of the only major bridge along the axis due to heavy downpour causing massive flooding. Abubakar Mohammed Musa reports.
Heavy downpour from the higher grounds of the Biu Plateau caused rivers on the downstream Dad and Kowa-Gombe axis to overflow their banks, washing off the road and parts of the bridge. The Brian Long Bridge in Bayo local government connecting Borno with neighboring states of Gombe, Adamawa and Taraba has over the years enhanced socio-economic activities in the mostly agrarian communities of southern Borno. However, the condition of the bridge currently can best be described as alarming because it has cut off, thereby stopping movement of goods and services in addition to subjecting inhabitants on both sides of the divide to untold difficulty. Worried by the situation and plight of the people, Borno State Governor Kashim Shettima directed the Executive Chairman Borno Road Maintenance Agency Engineer Satomi Ahmed to ascertain the level of damage on the bridge with a view to commencing repairs immediately. With feasibility study conducted, work is expected to commence in earnest towards ensuring free flow of people and business activities, as well as connecting the rest of Borno with neighboring states in that axis. In Maiduguri, Abubakar Mohammed Musa, NTA News.
Talking health now, life expectancy across Africa has improved significantly from the 50.9 in 2012 to 50.38 in 2015, translating to 3 years increase. A new report launched at the 68th session of the World Health Organization Regional Committee held in Dakar, Senegal, provides an insight into the state of health in the African region. Health correspondent Rabi Abdallah tells us more.
50% reduction in deaths resulting from the 10 biggest health risks in the continent, such as lower respiratory infections, HIV and diarrhea diseases, is said to have been achieved between 2000 and 2015, partly as a result of specialized health programs. Chronic diseases such as heart disease and cancer, the report says, needs to be tackled in the region, as 1 in 5 of persons within the age bracket of 30 to 70 years are likely to die from non-communicable diseases. The report indicates that 2 critical age groups, comprising the adolescent and the elderly, are not being adequately catered for, showing a complete lack of health care for the elderly in up to 1/3 of African countries, Nigeria inclusive. It notes that countries with health systems that perform well invest up to 40% of their budgets on their workforce and 1/3 on infrastructure. Stating that the report should not be seen as a scorecard, the World Health Organization was, however, quick to warn that the improvement in life expectancy could only be sustained and expanded if health services are significantly improved while ensuring that services get to the people who need them most. In Abuja, Rabi Abdallah, NTA News.
More on health, Nigeria is finding modalities to give traditional medicine a place in the nation's health system and encourage local production for health, nutrition and economic benefits. Chindiman Dubisi was at the 2018 African Traditional Medicine Day where this was put in perspective.
Africa has abundant medicinal plants, with sub-Saharan Africa alone said to have more than 50,000 species. Statistics show that Nigeria accounts for about 8,000 of such herbs used in producing medical products. Ibrahim Mohammed is among the 70 to 80% of Africa's population said to be currently using traditional medicine. He attests to its efficacy.
I take about 42 drips. I am doing well. Where I went to home, they bring the local one. I have to be well in 7 days.
Malaria, diabetes, hypertension. A lot of remedy have been developed.
From the products of traditional medicine, you can produce cosmetics. There will be farmers who will be cultivating the raw materials. Women, that will be excellent forum for job creation.
Records also indicate that 25 to 45% of the world's pharmaceutical products are derived from medicinal plants. With these benefits and potential, it leaves a bad taste in the mouth of some health experts that Africa is minimally benefiting from global herbal medicine. Shortfalls traditional medicine practitioners attribute to challenges encountered in the practice.
Marketing, manpower, the machineries. We want to establish a botanical garden.
The Nigerian government is, however, placing traditional medicines in the nation's health system by training practitioners, formulating policies, codes and ethics, as well as developing more than 300 species of medicinal plants in every state.
This year's commemoration urges utilization of medicinal plants for finished products. Government shall support research and create liaison with those traditional healers with a head start in the knowledge of these plants to develop, formulate, and commercialize research findings into pharmaceutical, medicinal products.
There are therefore calls for more collaboration in research to improve quality and quantity of locally manufactured products and proper regulation for affordable essential medicines. Chimdema Ndubisi, NTA News.
Let's now join Dotun in Lagos for more reports. It's over to you, Dotun.
Thank you, Elizabeth, for joining us in Lagos. A 15-seater rescue helicopter has been officially handed over to the Nigerian Navy by the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, following a directive from the presidency. Lynn Lineke reports that the helicopter is to enhance the surveillance duties of the Nigerian Navy over the maritime waters.
That signals the official handover of the AW139 Rescue 1 helicopter to the Nigerian Navy. Until now, the helicopter was under the custody of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA. Acquired in April 2007, the AW139 Rescue 1 helicopter is capable of performing different roles. The Chief of Operations and Training, Rear Admiral Maxine Kaduri, who represented the Chief of Naval Staff, reiterated Navy's resolve to continually protect the nation's resources and its territorial integrity.
The sea is a very complex terrain, and there are so many players. That is why Nigerian Navy and NIMASA, both organs of government, are working together to ensure better governance of Nigeria's maritime space.
The Executive Director Operations, NIMASA, Rotimi Fashakin, expressed optimism that the collaboration with stakeholders will assist in curbing issues of insecurity in the maritime domain.
That partnership, I believe, should continue in ensuring that all issues of maritime security within Nigeria's maritime domain are nipped in the bud.
Since its acquisition, the AW139 Rescue 1 helicopter has flown a total of 243 hours, 45 minutes, and has successfully been deployed for various operations. In Lagos, Lane Lenake, NTA News.
NIPOST has unveiled the latest innovation that will enable the digital verification of addresses of all Nigerians, legal residents and organizations. Annie Daniels reports that the apps are fallout of the ongoing reforms in NIPOST.
Over the years, past administrations have made concerted efforts to provide an acceptable addressing system for Nigeria. All efforts, according to stakeholders, were fraught with inaccuracies due to inappropriate location of public facilities. In its quest to actualize this dream, NIPOST, with the backing of the Federal Executive Council, engaged experts. This stakeholders conference on addressing critical challenges in Korea and e-commerce industry is therefore to kickstart the scheme.
Nigerians will be taught how to really address letters now. That is the first point. Again, they will have numbers that will be attached to every area.
Postmaster General of the Federation disclosed that NIPOST digital addressing system will open up new windows of opportunities for Nigerians.
We would use millions of Nigerian youth as our address verification agents. All they have to do is to come with a simple smartphone with internet and go to the location, verify people's address, they'll take their details, they'll take their live photograph, which will be automatically uploaded into our database.
We engage NIPOST at the courier companies, working with the state revenue services to send these licenses to those addresses, because those licenses were returned because the addresses cannot be traced.
Observers are optimistic that the problem of inaccurate addressing will be a thing of the past. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
Financial experts project increase in economic growth as the bearish outlook in capital market enters the last working day of the month. For details, let's join Amaka O.
Good evening and welcome to Business News. With a visit of the British Prime Minister Theresa May to Nigeria, agreement between both countries is worth £4.2 billion sterling per annum. This is expected to create over 100,000 jobs in the country.
What should be of greater concern to Nigerians, given the state of the level of economic development, is what level of trade in goods is taking place between Britain and Nigeria. Granted that the Commonwealth Secretary believes that the value is going to increase significantly, but the good thing that the British government has realized that they are pushing for restoration of trade between the two countries.
Still on improving the economy, analysts advise the government to adopt blockchain technology to end the NNPC fact dispute over disparity in figures of revenue remittances. Rising from the August FAC meeting, Finance Minister Kemi Adeosun announced a proposed new template for remittances.
Go a little bit further, we just released a global report this week on blockchain technology. And what is blockchain technology? It's a distributed ledger so that all parties have access to the same information. So in this case where we have states, we have the federal government, we have the NNPC, if they had access to the shared blockchain information, there would be no dispute about what each party was supposed to get. So we would.
In pursuance of the federal government's fight against corruption, the Pension Transitional Directorate has embarked on systematic investigations with a view to curbing corruption in pension administration.
To collaborate with the ICPC and EFCC. And in-house in Petard, we have set up the Anti-Corruption Transparency Unit. And we have a whistleblowing system in place as well. Because you find the sort of fraud we're having now in pensions is internal. You find those who are handling pension files being the ones calling pensioners, soliciting for funds to process their pension payments. We have found one internally who we have handed over to the EFCC.
Let's see how stocks were traded on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange this last day of August. Stock market ends the business package. Network news continues short. Stay with us.
You're still watching NTA Network News. More reports ahead after this timeout. Please stay with us.
Eshima. Mama. Amaka for food. Eshima. Thank you, ma.
Amaka, ṣé wọ ni? Soap.
Ori, shea butter.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
All right, kids, today you're all going to tell me how you all spent your holidays. So the essay will be... Who did that? Who did that?
Share in the fun and excitement of the new school session with great tasting Indomie noodles. Hurry now and get yours. Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Your perfect family is under threat by germs. Infectious diseases are now the world's biggest killer of adults and children. Every day, 16,000 children under the ages of 5 and thousands of adults die from infectious diseases. These infectious diseases are caused by germs. They are everywhere. An average human being comes in contact with over 1 million germs daily in unclean water, dirty surfaces, in the toilets, on cuts and wounds, on your clothes. Germs can cause deadly diseases like typhoid, diarrhea, flu, and cough. To protect your family from germs, use the power of Dettol's One Cup Full for surface cleaning in your bathing water, in your laundry water, for first aid to protect your family from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Be Dettol Sure, endorsed by the Nigerian Medical Association.
Use Dettol Skin Jelly, which protects against germs for a healthy, smooth skin every day.
Madam. Brought us as usual.
As usual. You have no problem.
For the three put
You are welcome, sir.
As usual, yeah?
You take that one. You take that one. You don't understand? We want Nigerian homegrown rice. Finish. You don't have? You don't have?
Join the rice revolution today.
No other rice that tastes like Nigerian rice. Are you sorry? That's the Nigerian rice we are talking about. Chocolate made in Nigerian rice. Healthy food. I'm going to bring Mrs. Mobu to come to chocolate rice of made in Nigeria here. And see how it are made.
Correct.
And how they are cook it.
Correct.
Homegrown rice are good for your health. It boosts our economy and give employment to our people.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
You're watching NTA Network News. The Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, says the protection of consumers from telecom services, exploitation, and enhancing their access to information to make informed choices remain its priority. The Commission emphasized this at a consumer town hall forum in Ekpoma, Edo State. Calvin Ebonai has details.
The NCC says to achieve consumer protection and enhance their access to better telecom services in Nigeria, consumer information and education has been identified as one of the most cost-effective mechanisms adopted in recent times. The Director, Consumer Affairs Bureau of the NCC, Felicia Nwegbechulam, noted that the town hall meeting in Ekpoma is one of the initiatives of the Commission to bring together telecom consumers in rural areas with the network operators and the regulator to discuss and prefer solutions to consumer-related issues.
Have they been informed? He said, yes. Have they been educated? He said, yes. Are they now protected? He said, yes. So I can say, yes, that the essence of the program has been achieved.
At the interactive session with consumers, representatives of service providers attempted to explain challenges faced by the consumers and answered their complaints relating to unsolicited messages, promos, poor services, and data charges. Some of the stakeholders who attended the forum, which included palace chiefs, men and women, including youth groups, spoke on the benefit of the forum.
What they said here today is enough to tell the consumers that yes, their right must be protected.
The NCC Consumer Town Hall meeting in Abuja is the 41st in the series, being held across the country. The theme for the forum is using information and education as tools for consumer empowerment and protection. In Abuja, Kelvin Ewonwaye, NTA News.
An automation call center of the Citizenship and Business Department of the Federal Ministry of Interior has been inaugurated. Burjanatu Adam Said has details.
There was an attempt at automation several years ago which failed completely. And I said we must resuscitate that attempt.
The Citizenship and Business Department is one of the main pillars that will assist in the operationalization of the released executive orders on ease of doing business in Nigeria. The idea is to make things easy and for easy accessibility and to facilitate the ease of doing business in the country.
It's part of our contributions towards the implementation of the presidential order on the ease of doing business. The government wants to encourage individuals and institutions and organizations to invest in Nigeria.
For almost 3 years, the dream that has turned into reality has been an issue of concern to the Minister of Interior. Now, with the availability of funds and manpower by the federal government, the edifice is expected to manifest into an easy avenue for those wanting to do business with Nigeria. In Abuja, Murjanatu Adam Said, NTA News.
The accountancy profession plays a major role in the sustenance of economic viability, political stability, and social harmony in any nation. This was the view of speakers at a public presentation of Revolution of Accountancy Profession in Nigeria, authored by the founder and first president of the Association of National Accountants of Nigeria, ANAN, Olumuyiwa Shosanya. Basi Taekwan reports.
Shows that the growth and development of every economy is dependent on how resources are judiciously managed with proper documentation, summarization, and data analysis of business transactions. This expose lies in the hands of certified accountants as drivers of tools that measure the profitability and viability of any economy. The book, aside explaining the history of the Association of National Accountants in Nigeria, also takes a look at the role and challenges of certified accountants.
Every claim made by the author in the book is backed by meticulous documentation.
The book, as far as it's concerned to me, is a legacy that I'm living. Because having led the association for 17.5 years, there should be something on record for the future generation.
Lawmakers and other guests at the public presentation said the book is a child of necessity, considering the enormous multi-sectional dimension of the Nigerian economy.
So that they might enhance their depth of knowledge as far as boosting the economy of our dear country is concerned.
The book, Revolution of Accountancy Profession in Nigeria, consists of 463 pages and 21 chapters. Basi Taekwan, NTA News.
Let's now join Agatha in Benin for more reports.
Elizabeth, a warm welcome to Benin. In no distant time, Nigerians would be able to access quality health care comparable to any world-class medical facility in the ancient city of Benin, as the 200-bed accident and emergency complex at the Central Hospital is almost ready to complement existing facilities across the country. Popochukuka Ona reports that this is contrary to views in some quarters that the facility is an abandoned project.
Built by the Adams Oshomole's administration and inaugurated November 7, 2016 by President Muhammadu Buhari, the Trauma Center for Specialized Medical Care, which has a diagnostic center housing a 3D ultrasound machine and an electrocardiogram machine, is also equipped with other state-of-the-art equipment. The supply and installation of hospital equipment for the new 200-bed capacity accident and emergency complex are already completed. However, there has been concerns by residents as they have been expressing their displeasure over the delay in the kickoff of the hospital, which was conceived to complement the one built by the colonial masters over 100 years ago.
There are still some persons that are still hoping to get employment in that place.
The site engineer, Anthony Azodo, confirmed that the hospital is ready for use.
We have majority of them being installed since last year, and the early this year we had the last batch. So once the users are ready, we do the training.
The same fidelity which he has with all other promises, in line with the article of faith which the governor has with the Edo people. This one cannot be an exception.
Reports have it that the decision to have the complex in place came after the principal private secretary to the immediate past governor, Olaiton Oyerinde, who was taken to the hospital after a gunshot attack, died for lack of a life-saving facility to attend to him promptly. In Benin, Ogochkuka Ona, NT News.
And away from health, the Palace of the Oba of Benin is reviving the Bronze Casting Guild, responsible for producing artworks in the city in order to keep it alive. His Royal Majesty Oba Ewa II stated this while receiving the director of the British Museum, Hartwig Fisher, on a visit. Again, Ogochukuka Ona has the report.
The monarch, who welcomed the idea of the British Museum to collaborate with the palace to develop a world-class museum to accommodate stolen artifacts from Benin Kingdom, said the museum would not only be of benefit to Edo people, but to Nigerians and tourists all over the world.
Where we can have some of the artifacts so that when people, tourists in particular, visit the country, visit Benin that they have heard so much about, they expect to see certain things.
The director of the British Museum, Hartwig Fisher, told His Royal Majesty that he was in the palace to inquire into the possibility of the British Museum offering assistance in terms of fundraising and training of personnel for the proposed museum in the Oba's palace.
We would be most honored and happy to be at your side in this fascinating endeavor.
Mr. Fisher also expressed the desire of the British Museum to offer assistance to the Oba Ewa II Foundation. In Benin, Ogochkuka Ona, NT News.
That ends our package. The network news continues in Abuja after these messages. To stay on.
Experience, they say, is the best teacher.
They hold us from the sea. Thank God that we came back home. They should not go there because it's not good. It's a very bad place. So they just my advice.
Even now, sir, if they are shooting the boat they are going to use to go Italy, may they stop it. Our country is good. Our country is a blessed country. Now I know our country is a blessed country. I know before I for not travel from Nigeria to Libya. I know how much I spent.
Let these personal experiences serve as a lesson to all who would repeat their mistakes. A word is enough for the wise.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
Talking sports now, Lobby Stars declared champions halfway into the 2017-2018 football season as victorious under-19 cricketers returned to Abuja from South Africa. Tamara Ebiwe has more on Sports Update.
Lobby Stars of Makodi have been crowned champions of the 2017-2018 Nigeria Professional Football League season at an emergency meeting of the League Management Company, LMC, and Club Owners Association of Nigeria in Abuja Thursday. Lobby Stars will now represent Nigeria at the CAF Champions League